let's do a bike tail light comparison. I've got 3 of them here. This is the Fibre Flare. This is the ubiquitous, I would say, Planet Bike Blinky 3, and this is the Bontrager Flare R. Okay, so I think the 3 points everybody considers when they're thinking about bicycle tail lights is, in order of importance probably, is number 1, how bright are they? Number 2, how long are they going to last? How long will they shine? What's the battery life? And number 3, how much they cost. So let me just say a few things about brightness of a tail light in particular. Everybody asks how bright are they, but I would like you to consider how bright do they have to be. I think for the difference between a headlight and a tail light, obviously the headlight has to be a lot brighter because it is a see-by light, and your tail light is a be-seen light, so it's just a basic difference in function. But also, your headlight has to be brighter than your tail light because if you consider relative closing speed of prevailing traffic, if you're going along at 15 miles an hour and prevailing traffic is going along at, let's say, 40 miles an hour, the closing speed of oncoming traffic is going to be 55 miles an hour. The closing speed of overtaking traffic is going to be a lot less than that. It's only going to be 25 miles an hour. So if you say there needs to be 5 seconds between when a car sees you and when you occupy approximately the same space, there needs to be 5 seconds for the driver to react to your presence. That's a 25 mile per hour closing speed, or that's about 37 feet per second. Right, so 5 second reaction time there. If your tail light, right, can be clearly seen at 200 feet, then that's more than 5 seconds reaction time there. So everybody thinks brighter is better, but to me, clearly visible at 200 feet is adequate for a tail light. And if you're visible at half a mile, you may be paying for more light than you need there. But anyhow, I'll give you a chance to decide. I'm going to place these lights at about twice that distance, about 400 feet. I'm going to turn the lights on, I'm going to turn the sun off, and take some video, and let you decide. And then we'll break down some of the other points, the other 2 points about tail. I can definitely see the Bontrager. I can see the other 2 with the naked eye. I don't know if we'll be able to make them out on the camera. But definitely the Bontrager is plenty bright at this distance. That's on the daytime running mode, by the way. We're supposed to have about 6 hours of runtime on daytime running mode, so quite honestly, for all practical purposes, anybody who has one of these, I don't know why you'd run it on any other mode. Most people don't regularly go for over 6 hour bike rides, especially on a commute, so if you have this for a commute or even for your weekend group ride, I would leave it on bright all the time. It'll only be a special occasion that you need to go something dimmer. I wanted to show you this as well. This is with the lights set at 90 degrees. This, in my opinion, is where the Fibre Flare is at its best, although I don't know you can make it out here. It's really from 90 degrees or from 0 degrees. It's no brighter or dimmer at any of those angles, and that's the reason I got it. 2 reasons I got that. Because it's viewable at any angle, and also because that thing fits on any size seat post, so I needed something for my tri-bike. And the attachment system on that Fibre Flare will go around just about anything. Now the Bontrager light claims to be viewable at 270-degree angle. A claim which I was skeptical about when I first saw it, but actually when I'm looking at it now, you know what? It's definitely as bright as the Fibre Flare, and maybe the brightest of the three still. So that's not bad.
All right, so point number one, how bright is it? I'd say the Bontrager, the Flare R, definitely wins that one, hands down. Even at like a 90-degree, I thought the Flare, the Fibre Flare would be the winner there, but the Bontrager's was, to me, was clearly brighter even at a 90-degree angle. So that's the winner there. So what about the other 2 points? Well, in terms of battery life, the Planet Bike Blinky 3, on flash mode, it's going to run 200 hours. That's the, I haven't tested that. But effectively for a commuter, forever. I mean, I've used this for a couple of years, and I charge about once a month, mostly as a precaution. Same thing with the Fibre Flare, by the way. The Fibre Flare has an advertised runtime of 75 hours on blink mode. So, and both of these two take AAA batteries. I keep rechargeables in them. This one takes 2 AAAs, this one takes 2 AAAs, and the Fibre Flare is a little different. There's a AAA battery down here, and a AAA battery down here, up here I should say, and this whole thing is kind of a rubberized thing. It slides off, and you can put the batteries in there like that. So, in terms of the runtime battle, the Bontrager comes in clear third. Although practically speaking, I don't know if there's any difference, but as I said, the flash mode, the bright flash mode that I showed in the video only lasts about 6 hours. But for practical purposes, how many rides are going to go more than 6 hours? Probably not very many. And even in the event that it does, it's still got the safe run mode. It'll shut itself down when the battery charge gets lower. The main weakness with the Bontrager is that the batteries are not removable. It's got a USB charging port, so you got to put a cable and hook it up into some sort of USB charging device, either a wall socket or a computer. So no problem. Everybody has those, but the issue for me is how reliable is it? All these lights, essentially are collections of passive components, capacitors, resistors, diodes, transistors. Okay, so I know that diodes and transistors aren't really passive components, but basically they're souped up p-n junctions, right? Reliable as dirt. So by far the least reliable portion of all these systems is the battery. And in the Bontrager, if the battery goes, I haven't looked, but I'm guessing you probably can't replace it. So that just impacts the overall reliability of the system. In terms of cost, the Blinky 3 is the clear winner in terms of cost. I didn't shop around for any of these prices. This is just basically the first look price for all these, but you can buy the Planet Bike Blinky for $10 all over the place, or less than $10 if you look hard. The Fibre Flare is going to come in at about $40. That's a pretty big step up from the Planet Bike light, but the Bontrager light is another big step up. It's $60 retail. You can probably find it cheaper than that. Like I said, I didn't shop any of these prices. It's just the first look price you're going to get it. So, is the Flare R $50 better than the Blinky 3? Or even $20 better than the Fibre Flare? Well, you know, I'll leave that up to you to decide. If you don't have a light, you know, I said cost is the third most important criteria for all of these, but the fact is if you can't come up with the cash, it's a showstopper deal. The Planet Bike is definitely an adequate light. At $10, I think it's a great value. And if you don't have a light, it's way, way better than that. So I would definitely invest in it. And for a long time, this is my go-to light, but now I use the Bontrager all the time. Now, I got this as a gift, so you know, obviously I'm not price sensitive there, but now that I have it, it has become my go-to light, with the exception of if I'm going to be on my tri-bike. For me, there is none other than the Fibre Flare. Because of the attachment system, if I'm using an aero seat post, the only one of these three that's going to go over the aero seat post on my tri-bike is going to be the Fibre Flare. And this is actually, it's a very flexible, pun intended I guess, attachment system. And also the Fibre Flare, if I'm on my tri-bike, I have a headlight, I have the Fibre Flare, and to me that gives me visibility both from the side, from the rear, and of course the headlight from the front, without any additional reflective material or anything like that. So, and plus it's, if I put this, you know, between my seat and the bottom of the seat post, it's pretty aero too. I don't feel like I'm dragging an air anchor behind me. So I don't know, they all have their strengths and weaknesses. I think they're all adequate. If you don't have a light and you pick up one of these, definitely is better than not having a light. But which one's the best for you, I don't know. I'll let you decide, or maybe none of these. If somebody has their own favorite light, shoot me a comment. I'm always open to suggestions.